Hello everyone, my name is Clay, and welcome to Terminally Nerdy's Indie Impressions, the show where I take a look at independent, non-AAA, and niche titles giving you my quick first impressions. However, this time we're not following the usual rule of at least 2 hours, specifically because the game I was playing is in early access, and by the time you see this, it should have released, as its release date is on the 5th of December, and I'm recording this while I'm home not feeling well on the 3rd. The game is called Don't Die Minerva. It is by Xaviant, and if you don't know who Xaviant is, they're the folks behind the Culling, so use that information for what you will. I was never involved in the Culling, this is my first experience with them, and honestly, it's a fun little time-waster sort of game. Don't Die Minerva is a cute Halloween-themed game where you play a little girl named Minerva looking for her parents, and she comes across this creepy, mansion, and I'm not sure how she got there, and she wonders if her parents are inside, and upon entering the mansion, she runs into a headless butler, who then proceeds to ask for her help in cleaning out the mansion and defeating his former master who's gone crazy. And she does, because reasons. Still not entirely certain, I don't think the story's fully fleshed out in this yet. And basically, the gameplay, as you can clearly see here, is an isometric Twin Stick shooter roguelike. So I played this with a controller, and after playing it with a controller, I would not recommend playing it without a controller. I don't see how it would work with mouse and keyboard very well. I guess you aim with the mouse and then click, but it's a controller game, honestly. It plays a lot like Binding of Issac, actually. You're going essentially from room to room in this mansion, and as you go from room to room, you fight different enemies, all of which are ghosts and spirits and things of that nature, bats. You use a flashlight as your primary weapon. You pack toys, which are really fun, and those are sort of like your auxiliary weapon. There's a bunch of different ones. I primarily prefer the monkey, because it's basically like a turret. I've only ever gotten to level 3 in this game, and the only ones I've ever seen was I've seen a monkey, a cat, and a bear. The bear basically ground pounds, but in a much smaller area, so if any enemy's in that area, the bear just hits them randomly. The cat will jump around the screen, and like I said, the monkey's a turret, it throws bananas, damages enemies. Each item will affect your stats in different ways, and you can go to a stat screen and see how they affect it. The stat system is basically elemental, so you have light, fire, ice, lightning. Each stat, as you get points in it from your items, will increase things like your health, your energy, which is basically your ammo. It'll make you faster, it'll make your toys do more damage, things of that nature. For an early access title, it's pretty complete. There's not a lot of variety. Again, like I've said, I've only seen 3 different toys in the 3 levels that I've been able to play through. The game obviously goes further than level 3. It goes down deeper, but I can't get there because I'm bad at it. Yeah, there's not a lot to talk about with this, honestly. It's fun. I don't think I would continue playing it personally. It's not my sort of game. I'm not a fan of Binding of Isaac and that sort of thing. I prefer much more story-driven and story-heavy games for the most part. This is more of a fun sort of coffee break game. Runs take about 10 to 15 minutes, possibly longer if you keep going. One thing I do like about this is you can save mid-run. So if you clear out a room and you gotta go, you can actually exit, and when you come back, you will pick up your run right where you left off in that room. I use that a few times just to play for 10 minutes, be like, alright, I'm done, and put it down, and move on. There's a lot of different variety, though, in item types. You have backpacks, and you actually do get to see the visual effect of the backpacks, which is really nice. Enemies are fairly palette swappy, but you start to learn them, so you have basic ghosts that shoot 1 bullet, and then you got these orange ghosts that'll shoot spreads, you got different kinds of bats, you got these different kinds of spirits that'll charge you. Eventually enemies start having shields. And the developers have been updating it. Since I got it, there's already been at least 2 updates, and I've already run into enemies that I didn't run into before. I've run into an enemy that spins and bounces around the room like a ping pong ball. And then I ran into an enemy that summons smaller enemies that chase you down and try to explode. So there's a lot of variety there. There's different combo effects, like if you freeze an enemy and then hit the enemy with something that does fire damage, you'll do increased damage. There's a gemstone system that will give your toys and your flashlight different effects. So you might find a toy, you know, that like the monkey, and then if you find a sapphire, you can slot the sapphire into the monkey, and the monkey will start doing ice damage. Or you can slot an amethyst into the monkey, and they'll do lightning damage. And the different damage types all have different effects. Like fire will burn enemies, lightning arcs, freeze will slow them down, and if you do enough, will lock the enemy down, and then they kind of explode in icicles. Fire damage can also cause enemies to explode in bomb form. So a lot of different things, a lot of different combinations. You're basically going through the game trying to get as much money and as many crystals as you can, and you want to, on every level, there's an exit to like the hub, and you want to use that exit so you can spend your crystals, because if you die, you lose everything you had. You keep any of the upgrades you've unlocked using the crystals from the Headless Butler dude, but if you die and you have like 1,000 gold and 5 crystals, you lose all of that and you have to re-earn it. So every level, if you've got any crystals, you want to leave the level the one time you can, spend the crystals, and then come back in, because every level has like a teleport out and then you can teleport back in. Beyond that, there's not a lot to it right now. I do think it's worth keeping an eye on. I don't know, when I'm recording this, how much it's going to release for. I haven't seen anything about the release date. I did get a key from Evolve PR for this, from the devs, through the devs. Yeah, so keep that in mind. But it's alright. I think it'll improve, and I might revisit it down the road once it's had some development time. If I do, you'll see that the new version of this video will have the EA removed, and I'll probably take this video down and leave the full version up at that point. So, but as always, if you like what I'm doing, check me out online. Just search Terminally Nerdy on Google. You'll find me. I'm pretty much everywhere with that name. I'll see you all on the next one. Thanks. Hey there, I just want to say thank you for watching this video, and a special thank you to all my patrons who are listed over there on the right hand of the screen. If you want to get your name in those credits, feel free to check it out at patreon.com/terminallynerdy. And hey, be kind to each other and stay nerdy. Thanks.